Hi, my name is Caspar Lee, and I was born on the 24th of April 1994 in Paddington, London. I can't remember being born because I was really young, but apparently my head was too big for my mum's... A year later, my family and I moved to South Africa. When I was 13 months old, my brain wasn't fully developed, so when the lady sitting next to us on the flight vomited, I thought she was making toys for me with her mouth, so I played with it. I spent the early part of my childhood living in an area called Fort Nottingham. It was really rural, so there weren't a lot of friends to play with, but there was a lot of space outside. I did have my sister though. She was always in charge of me and would force me to do things like drink water mixed with Marmite, resulting in me vomiting a lot. Only this time I didn't play with the stuff because I knew better. We then moved to Durban, one of South Africa's biggest cities, where I started going to school. I was a real ladies' man, and my mom didn't want me to get distracted, so she put me in an all-boys school. Damn her. On the first day of school, I learned the word look, which I still use to this day when spotting something in the distance and telling other people to look at it too. When I was 11, my family and I moved to a holiday town called Knysna in the Western Cape. At first, I hated it because there wasn't much to do, but then I started playing a lot of tennis, and I made more friends, and I served more aces, which made me happy because I loved winning. I'm very competitive. When I turned 13, I attended a high school called Oak Hill. Most of the students had been there since they were young, and I was the new kid on the block. I remember coming home crying after a boy called Josh was mean to me. My mom told me that Josh was a dick and I shouldn't listen to him, while my dad said I should beat the shit out of him. The funny thing is today, Josh and I are best friends. You've probably seen him on my videos before. He knows me better than everyone, and we will be friends forever. The fact that Josh and I went from worst enemies to best friends in a matter of weeks shows me how quickly people can change, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst. The relationship between my mother and father had been a solid one for many years, but just as Josh and I went from enemies to best friends, my mother and father went from loving each other to divorcing. I remember the night my mom told me about the divorce. I was angry. I always thought my parents would be in the 50% of marriages, which worked. I was also afraid. How would my dad be my dad without my mom? And how would my mom be my mom without my dad? I had no clue that a divorce could actually help. Looking back on it, I feel like my parents are both happier today because they found new people they love. My mother met an Irishman called Sham, who has become an amazing stepfather to me, guiding me as if I were his own son, while my father met a caring British lady called Lindsay. She's the kindest lady I know. At the age of 16, I started making YouTube videos because I was bored and I could use them to procrastinate my homework away more effectively. After about a year and 2 unsuccessful YouTube channels, I opened DCasp, which means direct to Caspar, because I thought I was like really cool. 6 months after starting DCasp, it became fairly popular, so I traveled to England to meet and collaborate with people like Jack and Finn Harries, Sam Pepper, Marcus Butler, Alfie Days, and Bertie Gilbert. These collabs dramatically increased my following, and I went back to South Africa with one intention: to make a life out of YouTube, because there is nothing I love more. And that is what I've done. On the 31st of December 2012, I flew to England. 13 days later, I moved into my own flat with Alfie Days from the YouTube channel Pointless Blog. A huge part of me wanted to stay in South Africa, but I'm positive that I've made the right decision. Living in London allows me to work with some of the best YouTubers in the world on a day-to-day basis. In my short time being here, I have already been so inspired and have collaborated twice. I know I won't live here forever, but it's going to be my home for at least a year. I then hope to go back home, to my country, South Africa. At the moment though, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm literally living the dream, and I believe it's only the beginning. Thank you to Sam Pepper for tagging me to make this video. I'd like to tag my subscribers to draw their life stories just as I have done, and to leave them as video responses to this video, because I'd love to know more about you guys. Thank you.